Hello everyone, welcome back in another video. I am Vaibhav. Today date is 27th of August 2022 and our today's video topic is difference in between list and set. In our previous video, we are discussing about the list and arrays. That time we see the hierarchy of that interfaces. So also that list and set are the interfaces which are implemented from collection interface. You know the collection interface, that is the collection database. Okay, so these are implemented from the collection interface which are stored in a java.util package. Okay, after that list are list are extended to list again consisting the different classes like a array list. That array list can extended from a link interface, and also it consisting a linked list vector. Both of those are also extended from a links interface, and within that case our all those three classes are extended from a link interface. So after that, in their last class there is the vector, and vector can also existing one more class, that class is our set. Sorry, that class, that is a stack. That stack class also extends from a stack class also extend from that class, that is the vector class. Okay, and in our set interface also implementing some interfaces and classes, different interfaces and classes. So these are like set interface can extends the class like um, hash set. Then next class is linked hash set, and it also implements one more interface, that is sorted interface. Sorted set, sorry, that is sorted set. And that sorted set interface can extend one class. That class is a tree, that is the tree set. That means that is the sorted, that tree set is a class which is extended from a uh, our sorted interface. That is the hierarchy for the list and set. Now we go towards, let's see the difference between list and set. So list is nothing but as we have seen previous video, these are linked list, and um, these are array list and linked list. So both those things are comes in our list interface. So all those things like array list and linked list, these are dependents or works on a indexing perspective. That means indexing perspective means that when we are giving some initial value to that specific array, that time they put that value on a specific sequential. That means when we put a first value, it put on zeroth index. Then we put a second value, that put on first index. Then we put a third value, that put on second index. That is the actual sequence of putting that value. That means our list can follow the indexing. It works on indexing. It's our supporting like that means we giving input by sequential manner, and it also taking that input within a sequential manner. But in case of our set does not follow the indexing. Set is working on a hash code. So hash code concept is that hash code means the hash code, it is a code which is generated or stored within our JVM, and it internally works like that. Hash code means any kind of data which are having some specific integer value in a library of Java. That means there is some value, suppose there is a value 2, that 2 value are having some specific hash code in Java, and there is also character or string. All those, in for each character, each string, or for each integer, it having some specific hash code value. So basically hash code value can generated with the help of hash table. So hash table is nothing but it is also structure like a table in which on one first row there is an array of a specific size. In default size that is 60 in our Java. That is the incremental array. We can also called as list array. We can also called as uh, array list. Okay, so it having some specific indexing, but our set is not follow indexing. So there are structure like array, and with that array can also consisting in a vertical manner. On each index, it having another array list. That means there is a one array list, and for that array list indexing, they have also one more vertical mannered array list. So that time, suppose we are inputting a value, I am giving an input as a 5. So that 5 can having some specific hash code value. So hash code value can calculate it as that integer having some hash code value, and that we are getting the proper set or for proper position for that value by using a one calculation. That calculation is that calculation is like as there is some hash code value. Suppose the hash code value is 1524, and we are having the length of that linked array, and we are mod that hash code value 134 pi by that length. Suppose that length is the 7. So we are mod that value by 7. That time we get a reminder. Okay, so that reminder is nothing but the index for that array, and our hash code can set at the position on the indexing, and within that index it store the multiple values in a one manner. That means there is not any restriction for inserting a value on one specific index. We are set lots of number of elements at a one specific index by like our stair structure. That means our linker can work on indexing, and our set are work on hash code values. After that, the next point is that our list can follow the insertion order. So insertion order is nothing but that means our set are our list are having a indexing. That means I am giving some value. Suppose I am giving value 5. It put that value directly on 0th index. After that I am giving the value 6. It put that 6 value on first index. After giving that value 7, that 7 value can putting on index 2. And also vice versa, I am getting value from the array. When I am calling the value for index 1, that time it give me a value 6. And when I am calling for index value of 0, that time it giving me a value as a 5. That means it follow the sequential order. That means we giving the some specific value to that list, it putting in a some specific manner which are dependent on their indexing value. So it put all those value on sequential manner. That's why we easily get the value from the list, and we also easily set the value for that list. That means it follow the sequential order. But in case of set does not follow the sequential order as we seen, but there is a behind structure for that setting that value is set. That means it works on hash code, and hash code are having some its inbuilt structure for set the value. But as we seen, we are giving first value as 5. That means that not putting on initial, it having some specific calculation for store that value as per their hash table. So it will be show us that setting at different location. That means it does not follow. That means we are giving 5, 6 and 7, and that time those are all a value cannot be stored within a proper sequence as a 5, 6 and 7. Suppose it can stored as 6, 7, 5, or it can stored as 3, 4, 7, 6, 5. That is the calculation which is actually done within the by the JVM. We are seeing that implementation in another video. So the scenario is that our set does not follow the insertion order. That means when we giving some value, setting some value that not set in proper manner. That's why we are not get that value directly in a set. After that, the next point is that our list can accept the duplicates. That means I'm putting the same repetitive elements within the list. That means I suppose there is a one more array of 5, 6, 7, and also I can insert one more 5 within that array. That time list can accept that duplicate value because our lists are working on a indexing. That means it does not affected by the same value. It gives some specific index number for that element. That's why it does not take any action against that duplicate value because it has some address or it has some specific location for that element. That means we are directly calling that index number and we get that element from the list. That's why it does not have any problem or it does not occur any restriction for a duplicate value in our list. But in our set, there is a main restriction is that set can works on a hash code. That's why the some specific value of set is a standard value. That means the value of hash code for 5, let's suppose the value of hash code for 5 is 234, and again I am giving that hash code value that is the same for the 5. That means whenever we using 554 again, that time it having some specific value of hash code. That's why it's giving us output as the same after the hash code. That's why it is not possible to the store or giving the specific location for that element. Also that for like a integer strings, they are having some specific standard value. That's why it is not accepting the duplicates or repetitive elements within the set. That is the scenario, that is the overall outcome is that our list can allow or accept the duplicates and our set does not allow or accept the duplicates. After that, the next point is that our list can accept number of nulls. Again, that scenario is same. Our list are working on an indexing manner. That means that null value also have some weightage. That means we giving some nulls within that list. It having its individual indexing. That's why it puts directly within the array. There is not any question mark for that location or for that position. It having its specific indexing. That's why it put the number of nulls within a array, within a list. Okay, that means it accepts the number of nulls at a time or within a list. But in case of in a case of set, that is also null value are having some its specific value. That means it's having some hash code value. That means if there is a again null is present within that set, it does not accept that set value because actually already one null value is present. That's why the position for that specific number or for that sorry, for that specific hash code is already registered or already set within that set. That's why it does not allow the null value. It only allow only single null value within a set. The scenario is that our list can allow number of nulls and our set can allow only one null value within their set. After that, the next point is that iteration. In our list can when we doing iteration, we are doing iteration at the time of getting the value from the list or from the set. That time within our list we are using the list iterator or iterator method for the getting the value from the list. That means we are having some specific index and we have to grab the specific value from that respective index. That time we are using a list iterator and iterator. So list iterator can work as a forward and also work in a backward direction. That means we are finding that index at 5 at a time and after that we are also finding that index for the second. That means it works for the forward and backward also. But in case of scenario, in case of set, that time we are using a get method by only iterator. That's why iterator only works forward direction. Only works in a forward direction. It does not work at backward direction. It sorry. It only get the element within a forward direction. So that is the overall difference in between list and set. Thank you.